All right, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? How is it going? I am Is There No One Else? And the video I'm bringing you today, we are going to talk about the stun testing I did yesterday. I know everybody's super excited about this. I posted 2 videos going over it, and I said I was going to test it more. I tested it more after the nerfs. I wanted to give you guys the results. I'll have a spreadsheet in the description for those of you guys that want to see the numbers. But the test is that I'm running, I think I have 2 blood spawn on here. I have 5 Titanborn on the body, just a static set. This isn't going to show the overall damage of what D-Swing can do because you're probably not going to run Titanborn and stun. Let's be honest. You're going to run a weapon damage set to increase your healing, and you're going to run stun if you're going to run stun. So some of this damage will be, it'll be different. It won't. My point is I just wanted a set just a static set to compare, and I was just comparing front bar sets. So what we did here is we had Sharpened New Moon with Infused Jewelry, all weapon damage enchants, and then we also had Sharpened, Stun, same thing across the board. We just flip-flopped the sets, and we wanted to compare the damage, and we wanted to see how much damage in that window Stun gave us compared to New Moon. And we did 4 different tests. I'm pulling out my numbers here for you guys so you guys can hear it, but the first test was 35k resistances, potentates, and undo back bar. Next one was just flat 35k resistances. The next one after that was 38k resistances with Swift, with just buffer of the Swift. No undo, no potentates on the back bar. And then the final one was 35k with Swift, potentates, and undo. So the full damage mitigation, everything you have with resistances. So huge shout out to Vampiric Tyrant for helping me out with this. This is, it's not fun to go through all these different tests, but he was super helpful in, allowing me to get this information out to you guys. I think it's useful in comparing for your builds to figure out what you want to run. So this is going to be my more or less in-depth stun review on what it is, what it does, where it's going to succeed, and where it's not going to be so good. So when we looked at the numbers, across the board, stun on all tests was 14 to 15% better than New Moon Acolyte. It obviously, when you had Swift, Undo, and Potentates with 35k resistances, you had all that mitigation. You were doing less. I was dealing out less damage than I was when I just was fighting him with 35k resistances. But the point is I was doing 14 to 15% more damage across the board in that window. And so in that window, you're going to have more opportunity for burst. But when you leave that window, and he set me on fire here, when you leave that burst window, that 8-second window, you are going to have a pretty long duration where you do less damage than New Moon Acolyte. You're going to actually do substantially less. The other thing is New Moon Acolyte, as we all know, it buffs our heals. It stacks weapon damage. Weapon damage scales very well with, especially stamina builds. And so a lot of players, when I posted my videos last week, they're like, yeah, I'm not going to run stun. Like, I'd rather run New Moon because I'm more of a tanky player. I need my healing to keep me alive. And yes, so, I know I'm giving up damage, but I need the healing. The healing's important to me, so 15% more damage, 17% more damage isn't as important to me as New Moon will be with the healing. And so I know a lot of people are already doing that. To me, I'm going to try and make it work. It's so much burst in a burst window. I want more damage. I mean, I've talked about this for a while. I'd be silly to not try and run stun when I've been clamoring for a damage set. Now, this set works by giving you 11,000 penetration when you set somebody off balance. And what that means is just about everybody can use it. Anybody using D-Swing can proc it. Anybody with toppling charge, Templar, Magplar, they can proc it. Surprise attack or concealed weapon from stealth can proc it. Even any CP build with the tactician passive where you dodge an attack, you can set people off balance. I know Malcolm on his Magsork runs the tactician passive to proc off balance. So I'm not saying he will. I'm just saying that you could utilize stun even on a Magsork in these sorts of situations. So some classes obviously better than others. D-Swing builds are going to be better for, setting off balance than like a Mag Blade or a Mag DK. Well, Mag DK will work pretty well with Talons. But my point is some classes you won't be able to utilize it as much. But everybody could use it, is my point. The other thing is like I said, it comes at a cost. You know, and it comes at a cost of healing. It also comes at a cost of uptime. You know, some people like guaranteed uptime. I've talked about that quite a bit. I like knowing, I don't like relying on a proc, you know, like a lot of conditional procs to get my damage. I like just knowing that I have it. This type of proc already, you know, I'm okay with this type because it's part of my burst combination anyways. You know, this proc is when I'm doing damage. You know what I mean? So it like this doesn't, I wouldn't even really consider this a proc. That's just how I look at it. But you only have that small window, and then when that window goes away, you do less damage. So you have more burst. The other way it works is it gives a lot of penetration. You know, and I'm gonna let me explain this in full detail about penetration. You know, like you guys want to hear about all this penetration, but I was looking at my Magplar build, and I have Ellie Drain, which is, you know, I'm gonna round it, guys. You know, I'm just gonna round out the numbers. We're not gonna go into exact math, but I have Ellie Drain, which is roughly 5k pen. I have Light Armor passives, which is roughly 4k. That puts me at 9k. I have roughly 4,500 pen in my CP tree, which is 13.5. I have Stun, which is 11, so that puts me up to 24.5. So I have 24.5k pen with my specific build on my Magplar. If I were wearing Balorg, I could have up to 34 to 35k pen pretty easily if I stacked my ultimate to the max. You can have a lot of pen on either a light or medium armor build. So Meg can obviously stack a lot of pen. Stam obviously can too. Like on this, you know, on this Nightblade, I have a sharpened maul, which is like 2,700, you know, and I have 4,500 in the CP tree, which is 70, 72, 7,300. We'll just say 73. Roughly 7,300. Stun puts me up to 18k, 18.3. And then which one am I missing? I know I'm missing one. Anyways, my point is, is with Balorg, I can have up to I can get to 28, and then I also have a Maul, which ignores resistances. So it's going to be pretty easy for people to get in the 20 to 30k pen range. I don't have Major Fracture on here. I could put Major Fracture on if I wanted to, via Mark or whatever, or you know, throwing Caltrops or whatever. A lot of Stamina and Magicka classes are going to have 20 to 30k pen next patch, and for some classes, that doesn't mean a whole lot. You know, I was talking to Jay Quellen on Twitch yesterday and a couple days ago on my YouTube channel, and you know, they brought up the point that they run on their Magblade, they have 10 to 11,000 resistances, you know, unbuffed. And so when they use their shadow abilities, they have 16,000 resistances. They have other percent mitigation, but for them, they were already getting overpenned by most builds in the game. You know, they were surviving via their heals and their percent mitigation. They weren't, you know, they weren't surviving based off of the resistances. And so to them, like that specific build, that build wants you to run stun, because now if you run stun, you don't have the weapon damage that can actually impact their build. You know, so there will be people out there. If you're a medium armor build and you're running around with 20,000 resistances, you're already getting hit close to the pen amount anyways. You know, like I did a test last week, and I found that stun with the sword versus somebody with like 25k resistances was actually better than the maul, because we were getting so close to the pen value that the sword with its weapon damage was actually better than what the maul was. And it was only 5% better than New Moon at 25k resistances. And so if you're in medium armor and you're around 20k resistances already, stun doesn't really mean shit to you. Like, sorry for swearing, but it doesn't really mean anything. You're already getting hit close to pen. They're just eliminating their healing, and they're already going to take you close to the pen cap anyways. You know, like it doesn't matter what build it is. Like if we compare like my Magplar with New Moon from last patch, you know, or Harrow Storm, you know, I have, like I said, Ellie Drain plus light armor, that's 14. I have the pen passive in New Moon, so that's 15. And then I have 4k in the CP tree, that's 20. I have 20k pen on my Magplar. So if I was fighting you as a medium armor build, I'm already close to the pen cap. And I would be better off, in those situations. Like, stun isn't going to impact you that much. So when I go through this, what I'm trying to say is there are some people this set doesn't mean a whole lot to. You're already getting overpenned anyways, and you were surviving off of percent mitigation and healing. What this set does, in my opinion, is it's lowering the capped capabilities of very tanky builds. I'm talking about the support builds that run a bunch of percent mitigation and resistances because they're built to survive. This is going after them, and I think we can all agree that that's what we want. We want those builds to be able to take a little bit more damage, because when I put those builds on and I run around with them, it takes a lot of people to kill me. It takes a lot of people, and there's nothing wrong with saying with having powerful support builds. It's just really easy to build powerful support builds currently. It's very, very easy, and I would argue that it's too large of the population right now that has it. It's just, the game's not fun if people can't die. and you can make you can run a lot of different sets to make a very tanky, no die, very good support build. I've talked about it a lot. I'm not going to dive into it anymore, but that's what this set goes after. And it doesn't mean that they're not effective. It doesn't mean that they're not going to be valuable. Like let me read off this number. Stun with Titanborn versus 35k resistances, Swift, Potentates, and Undo backbar. I hit a 3571 non-crit D-swing. 3571. If we take off stun and we put on, if we take off Titanborn on the body and we put on New Moon, it's going to have roughly the same damage. They're close to the same amount in damage. Fury, maybe we'll be around 3,800. Maybe we'll get close to 4K. A 4K non-crit D-swing. Is that so much damage that you're not going to be able to react? I don't think so. Guys. So I like it. I like the damage. I've been clamoring for this for a while. There are going to be some interesting builds out there. There are going to be some powerful gank builds, but this set looks good. Like, if you know how to use a burst window and you have a good, reliable source of off balance, this set's going to be very nice for that window, and you're going to kill some people. But there's going to be a lot of people that you fight that, it's not going to make any difference to. Like, some people are going to put on stun and they're going to fight like a medium armor stam DK, and they're going to go, I'm not doing any difference in damage. Like, this set sucks. Why am I running this set? And it's like, well, yeah, they're running around with 20k resistances right now. They have 20k or 25k. Like, you're not going to see a difference, versus them. Where you are going to see a difference is their healing buddy in the back. You're going to see a little bit more noticeable damage versus them. It's not that they're squishy. It's just that they're going to take a little bit more damage. So those are my thoughts so far. Hopefully this set doesn't get nerfed too much farther. Like I said, I want to go through these videos in parts. I know I'm not looking at the bigger picture thing. I want to get each thing individually out there, because we're 13 minutes into this video right now, and I've just been talking about one set and penetration. And I know you guys get really excited about penetration, just like the rest of us do, but that's why I'm trying to break it up. So the last one I talked about, our impenetrable gear and how we protect ourselves and our virginity from dangerous ladies and other people by having higher critical resistance. This one, we have higher pen, and we can just potentially impregnate everybody, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I'm gonna end this video here. Like I said, I have quite a few videos for you guys, just going through the different PTS tests. If you guys got this far and you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, I highly recommend subscribing to the channel. That way you can stay up to date and you can watch these videos as they come out. I have more gear set reviews to do. I'm going to discuss, there's a lot of stuff coming out. I also will be streaming Wednesdays and Saturdays on Twitch, going over the PTS stuff as well. If you want to hop in and say hi and see what stuff we're trying to concoct to either break the game or find a way to make a build viable on a class that isn't very strong, hop in and say hi. But yeah, that's going to be the end of this video. If you guys have any questions or comments about something that I said, please provide in the section below. Thank you for watching, guys. Have a nice day.